Okay. Bit of a crazy one this morning. Let's see if we are up and running. How we doing, guys? Can we hear me okay? Can we see me? It's very cold this morning. If anyone's based in Australia, it is freezing. There actually hasn't been... do that an announcement to put it out there. So we had a technical issue earlier and weren't able to send out everything that we usually send out. So I'm going to do that now and see. There we go. We're working. Awesome. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hello, Horman. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Paladin, how you going? It's very, very brisk in here. Very cold. Melbourne is taking its turn to start heading into winter, and it's doing it too early for my liking, and it is quite cold. So if I'm a little quiet when it comes down to chatting, I need to do something to keep myself warm. How are we doing today, guys? What have we been up to? Have you had a good day? We'll just wait a little bit longer for other people to jump in, and then we'll dive into what we want to chat about today. We had an issue with the automated emails, so I'm expecting today's stream to be just a little bit quieter, but we will see. Let's edit this and let's tag. Here we go. Morning from Indonesia. Hello, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for turning up. Hi, Rory. How are you going? Welcome to the 5%ers as well. I believe you're the Rory that was in the Discord. So I want to say welcome. Glad to see you here. Anyone over on TradingView, once again, you know the drill. Send me a thumbs up. There you go, Joel. On the ball. Every week on the ball. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. All right, we'll give it about another minute, and then we'll dive in. How's the sound, guys? Are we all good? Hi, Mighty Pips. Morning. Good morning. I'm assuming you are based in Asia Pacific region as well. You're saying good morning. Awesome, Rory. Yeah, welcome. I'm excited to see how you trade and what you can produce. It's always good meeting new traders that come through. Thank you, Holman. Appreciate that. So today's a bit of an open book. We don't have too much planned to go through. We're going to touch on the chart of the week thing that we had going on in the Discord, and we're going to run through what those everyone's analysis for that, including my analysis, and then also how that played out. So keep that in mind. That's going to be good. And then we're going to have a look at some charts. We're going to have a look at the economic calendar for next week. See if there's anything out there that's going to pull in. I've had such a busy week this week that I haven't had time to plan for too much today, unfortunately. So apologies for that, but we'll still get plenty of data, and if anything, it might help you guys more because you're able to talk to me in a more personal way, and I can answer the questions accustomed to you. Rory, I know you asked to touch on Fibonacci a little bit. I don't trade Fibonacci very much, but I used to, so I'll give you a little bit on how I did it later on in the session. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Hi, Charles. Is it Charlene? Charlene Barry? Is that right? Welcome. It's nice to see you. Mighty Pip says, currently in Thailand. Okay. Yeah, it's too early in the morning. It's like 6 a.m. Yeah, you're an early bird. No, I'm the same. I like to get up early, usually 6:30 a.m. start. I don't know why. I think I just prefer getting it out and then having the afternoons to do what you want to do. Okay. Oh God, I'm really cold. We're gonna dive in here. And the first thing we're going to start off chatting about is the chart of the week. Now, for you guys who aren't in the Discord or who aren't 5% traders or just got in the Discord, this week we launched a new little community. Wow, you're from the Bahamas, Charlene. Welcome. This week we launched a little community game, which we're calling Chart of the Week. It's a very simple concept, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Alex put it out on last Friday, I think he put it out. And he said, we're introducing Chart of the Week. It's a weekly event starting every Sunday. You'll be challenged to identify a potential trade idea or set up on a particular pair and chart. Bring your analysis forward, share it with us, as well as us sharing ours now. And then we're going to review them through this live trading session every Friday. And then also the traders that have the best analysis or the closest analysis will be given little things like extra roles in the Discord, access to certain chats that are only available for certain people, and whatever it might be. There'll be like a little reward system in there for the best analysis. So it's going to be a bit of fun. There is a bit of prize, but also it's a great learning curve for a lot of people to look at how everyone analyzes and see if they can, in fact, regardless of trading strategy, predict what's coming. I'm going to do a quick thing, and I'm going to turn a heater on because I am seriously freezing cold here. So just give me 2 seconds, guys, and then we're going to dive into the chat. So I'm just going to go back to the loading screen momentarily. Set up the heater, quickly turn it on. It'll be literally like 20 seconds, and then we'll dive into the chat. So if anyone has any questions, ask now, and I'll answer them in 20 seconds. Okay. Sorry. Apologies for that, guys. Apologies. I'm back. That's just going to warm me up a little bit, so I'm not as shaky when I'm trying to talk. Yeah, 7 p.m. there in the Bahamas. Awesome. I bet it's very nice. I haven't been to the Bahamas yet, but it's definitely on the to-do list. So we had that Chart of the Week, which launched this week, which actually had a lot of people chatting about, which is good. I'm going to run through some of their analysis. I'm going to show you my analysis, and I'm going to show you how the chart ended up. Okay, we're not going to deem a winner today, but I think there's some pretty obvious ones there anyway. And then Alex, when he gets in on Sunday, will make all the correct adjustments and stuff. So first things first is Ruben put up a chart, okay? And this is the chart that Ruben put up last week. Euro US dollar 1 hour chart. He pasted this. He had a bit to say about it, okay? So he pasted this chart. He said the US dollar had a strong momentum recently according to high inflation rate. The US government bonds 10-year yield is still rising. We're approaching the parity of Euro US dollar, so it should be an attractive zone for institutional positions for the long term. Okay, so he picked the Euro US dollar. Ruben's the one who's going to pick the charts. This is the chart he put forward. Our job was to take this chart, draw our analysis, and predict where it would end up by the end of the week. Okay, as close as possible. Obviously, it's almost impossible. Hi, Rashek. Yep, I can see your message. Welcome. Obviously, it's almost impossible to pinpoint the exact price it's going to be at, but we can kind of get a range, or if you can find a trade within there and call it out early, even better. Okay, so this was the chart we put forward. Euro US dollar 1 hour. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Euro US dollar 1 hour. Okay, so once he put this out, everyone was going to do their analysis. I was off to do my analysis. And we're going to share some of those analysis now, okay? So a lot of people put some things forward which weren't on the 1 hour chart, so I'm not actually going to show those because them analysis is still to play out. People were analyzing the weekly chart, the daily chart. They're not going to play out for months. So I'm going to stick to the lower time frames of what could have played out this week, which is what we wanted. And the first major one was this one right here from Lucian. Okay. Hey, it's beautiful here in the Bahamas. Mostly sunny days. If you like the beach, you will love the Bahamas. I definitely do. I definitely love the beach. Living here in Australia, there's nothing I love more than the beach. This right here was Lucian's analytics. You can see he pretty much used the same chart, 1 hour chart on the Euro US dollar, and he produced this forward here. It says currently this pair is approaching the low at the start of the pandemic and likely target by institutions for long-term trades. We've seen, I'm going to skip through most of this because we don't want to read all of it out. We have US bonds rising, which brings a lot of the stuff that Ruben mentioned, and he does say, as mentioned before, a lot of strong moves like the kill after we find out the position of the ECB in relation to the current market positions. Okay, so just a general overview fundamentally. Okay, nothing too paramount in there. Then down here he has kind of his actual trade. Okay, his intraday risk to reward is 1 to 2, suggested risk per trade a max of 0.5. I'd go lower, but hey, each to their own. For this particular trade, I recommend the shotgun entry management to reduce the risk in case of unpredicted big moves against us. Trade will be split into 2 entries. The first one will have 0.15 risk, and the second one will have 0.35 risk in order to maximize the risk to reward to reduce the potential risk of the trade in case the price doesn't behave as expected. And you can kind of see here in this chart, can I zoom in a little bit here? There we go. We can see here in this chart, he's got his partial entry here, his partial entry 2 here, and then his stop loss all the way down here below the previous low. Okay, so this is where he wanted price to get, and then he was going to run it high to the top. Overall, good analysis. He had some fundamental points in there. He had his trade plan. It does have swing take profits at the top. I'm not sure if he was looking to intraday trade it or swing it. That depends on him or what he ended up doing. But his analysis was clear, thorough. He told us his plan, and all round, very good analysis. Very impressed with the detail he's gone into there. The next was EONs, and EON also went, also went massively into detail as well. Very similar setup. He was pushing to get to the top side with a double top and then a push to the bottom side. Majority of this was driven by fundamental analysis, which was impressive to see because not many people deal with fundamental analysis. He read the fundamentals, he read the technicals, he even read some event risks, plus some speculation within the chart as well. And then overall, this was his prediction for the week ahead. Good thorough analysis. If you haven't read that, I recommend going over and having a little bit of read because it was quite a nice read to see that he understands all those concepts there as well. FX guide was the next one. So as you see, we had a lot. Okay, we had a lot of analysis come through, which was really good, and it was really good to see everyone getting involved in this. Hi Corsair, hello Noob Hydra. Hello, welcome. This was his analysis. Okay, so we had 2 entry points. He said we'll consider shorts on a clear reversal in here, but realistically, he wants to consider getting up here and then a push down, and then consider longs if it gets up above. Okay, so multiple different areas of where he's looking here. If we break this area, he's looking for a long. If we just get up and reject this area, he's looking to short. Wasn't a clear, decisive decision in there in the way that it wanted to run, in my opinion. I'm struggling to see if there was any decision, which is okay because sometimes it can be quite difficult to actually find that spot of when you just thrown a trade, be like, yeah, analyze it. It can be difficult, but not a bad drawing. It's good setup, and we're going to see how that played out in just a moment. Next was Mr. T, and this is an actual trade view idea, so it's going to be able to see it a little bit clearer. Mr. T is looking for shorts on the Euro US dollar. 2 different entry points he has, which is actually very, very similar to FX guides. Okay, so they both have a very, very similar analysis in here, drawn differently, probably brought together by different ideas, yet a very, very similar setup and trade plan. So they both had a similar one there. I'm not sure there's too many more for us to run through. Trader Ryan had a draw up here. I've just downloaded it. That wasn't what I meant to do. Trader Ryan, so that's going to make me download it. There we go. Trader Ryan had a bit of a draw up. He was looking for a bounce around here, a push up to this resistance, and then shorting it from there down into this deep area, and then taking it long from there. Okay, so he's planned well into the future, and he did do multiple time frame analysis, which was nice to see. A good thorough analysis. But short term, if we're looking here on the 1 hour, we are sitting in this area. He was looking for a push up to the top, a short from the top, back down, actually break through this demand area and get right down to the bottoms. Okay, good analysis. He talked us through it. He actually explained a lot about it, which is always good to see. Said different points that we're pointing out, and then some what if moments as well, if we saw some different things. Overall, it was really good to see. Frenchie did some analysis. The only thing with Frenchie's analysis is there was no real conviction. As you can see here, we were kind of like, yeah, it can go both ways. We wanted a bit more, let's say, like, where will it plan out? This is kind of going everywhere, which is okay. But when it comes down to the competition and how we want it, let's try and be more thorough. Let's have a look into the pair and be like, realistically, where can we get? Then we had Horman, or Trade Freya, analysis here. There we go. Right, I'm just going to close a couple of these. Trader Freya's analysis came up. Really good, thorough analysis is what we like to see, because if you give us thorough analysis and talk us through it, we can actually give you some pointers, or help curb what you're looking at in a different way. If the more information we have, and I say this every single week, the more information we have, the more we can improve. So when you're doing a deep, thorough analysis like this, it is actually really good, because we're able to analyze and we're able to actually run through, hey, you actually made an error here by seeing this, because this wasn't telling you that, or that's not a very strong signal, or whatever it might be. You can see what Horman was looking for. We're looking for shorts, looking for weakness in the euro as we pulled up, as most people were looking for shorts in this whole area of imbalance and big move here. A push up here and then looking a short. Had a very tight stop above the top, which I don't love, I'll be honest with you, Horman. It's very tight. But overall, the analysis was pretty clean. So we'll have a look if this trade worked out, and we'll have a look if these trades worked out as well. And then that's the daily time frame. I think that is everyone. So well done to everyone that submitted a chart. I highly appreciate it. Right, it's going to be a bit of fun as we look through. So we had Lucian's there. We've had Eowyn's FX guide, Mr. T. We had Trader Ryan. We had Frenchie. We've got Horman. We've got plenty of different analytical points. And may I remind you, a lot of these guys are funded traders. So when you're actually reading this analysis, you're reading the analysis of funded traders. So it is an extra little learning curve for anyone that wants to be involved. So that was obviously Ruben's blank chart. My analysis was like this, a lot cleaner than what we've seen from most of the people today. But you can see I published this on the 18th of April, which is the same time as that chart came out. And I said it's an interesting economic week with this pair, as both pairs are looking for weak data. Both currencies were looking pretty weak this week. The US dollar will show bigger movements in terms of reaction to negative data. But the way Ukraine is still raging, there isn't much money flooding into the euro. Okay, not a lot of people are buying into the euro at the moment. Understandably, I myself, I'm not overly confident in buying into the euro. If all the data is as expected pre-French election, I believe this chart will move in a sideways motion all week without much conviction. We may see some whipsawing given news, but overall there's not going to be much of a direction change. I think we're going to be sitting in this range all week. Okay, that was my prediction. I drew the 2 arrows because I could see it getting to the top and then pushing down. As I said, we might get some whipsawing because of news releases, the election, all the different data we have. But as a whole, I'm just not seeing like a big up move or a big down move this week. I think it's just going to be sitting still. This is how the chart ended up. Okay, that's the exact same drawing. Okay, this now is how the chart ended up. So as you can see, we came in from the drawing was released about here. We had a push down into this demand area and then followed by a push up. We got a liquidity grab up above and then a push back down, and we're moving back into this middle of the area. Overall, I'm quite happy with my analysis and that and how it planned out, because I did see it sitting in this range this week, and it is exactly what it has done. And that was mostly based off economic data and also predicted some whipsawing events to happen, which we did see as well. So overall, I'm quite happy with that. I didn't have a projectional bias or a trade to unfold in here, as others did, but the overall analytical point of it, I was quite happy with how that planned out. Now, if we are to compare this with how our other traders gone, there's two people that really stood out for me, and that right there is Lucian, because as you can see, he wanted to pull back into this previous low and then a take to the intraday take profit, if not getting above this resistance. And that is exactly what happened. Okay, he had a pull into this area here where it was a second entry point and then a push, and he had his intraday take profit somewhere about there. So all round, well done, Lucian. That was a fantastic trade. You planned it out. You let us know what the trade was going to be, how you were going to do it, and it planned out exactly what you wanted. And he actually posted in here a link right there. A follow-on from his analysis wanted to go, and you can see it tapped his entry points perfectly and then continued on to the upside and hit his intraday take profit. Didn't get up to any of the swing take profits. That doesn't surprise me too much, as I didn't see a lot of people willing to buy the euro. But the fact that he got it up to there, and I'm assuming he probably went risk off or took a lot of profits off at that point, all round very impressive trade. If we're looking at yours, Horman, we pushed up. We did get up into this area. Here, would we have gotten in? What time is this? Let's have a look to see if we would have gotten a trade early on here. I think you might have. If we had sold at this point here, you might have caught that little move that you had drawn up here. Actually, yeah, if anything, I think you probably did catch a little bit of profit in this move. These moves up here wouldn't have been too hot. As you can see, as we pushed up, we pretty much run through your entry points at the top of that wick. Yeah, we pretty much ran straight through to hit your stop loss there, but that's okay. That I did think that was a bit too tight of a stop loss, just putting it right above there in case we did have that liquidity grab. But overall, your analysis was clean because it did go the way you expected it to. Your trade in here would have made profits. It did go the way you expected it to. So all around, well done there. That is very good stuff. Both of these trades, unfortunately, wouldn't have gone anywhere for Mr. T. By the time we pushed up to this chart here, it had already gone. You know, we would have sat around here. We wouldn't have got anywhere down here, and then it would have ripped through both of those. Which is unfortunate. Once again, same with the analysis with Horman. I think that stop might have been a little bit too tight. You actually got it on the point right there, which you're squeezing yourself a little bit there, okay? Like, you're not giving the trade much room to breathe. But overall, I think your analysis was pretty clean. It just didn't play out the way you wanted it to. FX guide was the exact same as the previous one. Didn't have any trades set there though, so I can't really comment on the trades. Eoin wanted a double top and then a push lower. We've received a double top if you're looking at this one and this one, but we didn't get a push up, double top, push down. We've kind of just pushed up, pushed down. But overall, you did see the push up coming and then a push down. So part of your analysis is correct in that sense. We'll see if we can get to these lows or whether we're going to head more to the upside. Lucian, we've touched on yours. Fantastic analysis. Okay, we've gone through them. Well done. No, wrong. Trader Ryan. Trader Ryan had a good analysis. Where are you? There you are. Trader Ryan is very thorough about his analysis too. It's very good. I like the way he does it. But as you can see, he wanted a pull in up to the top into this resistance area. And you see the difference between what we've just seen with the other traders with this trade here is what you can see is look how much higher he's put his stop loss. He's given room for this trade to have a liquidity grab. And as you can see, it's what we had. We had a tiny little liquidity grab here, okay? And he's given the room for the trade to be able to do that. So while his position got triggered and then still went into the negative, it hadn't stopped him out. He's not out of the pair by that point, and now he's trying to run it down to the downside, which so far, so good. He's about halfway. All right, he wants to run it down to about these areas, so we'll see if he can hold the trade or how he manages it in the future. I'm sure he'll let us know. But overall, the analysis was clean. He is in there. Yeah, we'll see. He said if price rejects and respects it, I'm curious to know if he would have considered that reject and respect, because we did have a bit of liquidity grab, but I'm sure he'll let us know if we ask him in the Discord a little bit later. But overall, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Okay. Yeah, it caught the first, would have been stopped out of the second set. Yeah, exactly. The first little mini trade in there was good. The second trade, I think the analysis was still clean. The only issue was your stop loss placement, in my opinion. It needed a little bit more room to breathe if I'm doing that. But all right, thank you guys for doing that. I think that's a bit of fun, and every week we're going to do that. I hope I can share some knowledge by cross-referencing your analysis, and we can run through and be like, yeah, let's try to do this, and help you with little things like that as well. But that's a bit of fun. I enjoy drawing up the analysis and then seeing how it played out as well. I do enjoy doing little things like that. Noob, welcome. What about gold? So many people love to trade gold, don't they? Let's have a look at gold. What would you like to know about gold? I can tell you where someone's looking to get it. They're not my drawings, but someone wants to get it up to these highs. Gold, it's never just clean on gold, is it? It's never a clean move on gold. Not sure what I'm looking for here, to be honest. I'm not overly confident. It depends on how the US dollar is going to play out. Because if we're going to introduce a lot of weakness into the US dollar, which to be honest I think will happen, we could probably see gold start moving to the upside. We have broken above a high here. That would be a daily chart position, and then a pullback in the demand area if we go out to the daily. So this, we pushed up there. The demand will be in this candle probably. I don't love it though. Let's pull it in. If we get down here, you can potentially look for longs, but overall, I don't really trade gold. I don't really, unless I'm like intraday trading. I don't swing trade gold. What is a liquidity grab? It's essentially what most people call a fake out. It's when the price moves, just taps up above an area or just below an area, pulling everyone's stop losses essentially. So if you see here, we've got this low here, and price just literally tapped in, filled all the sell orders that were under there, or all the buy or the stop losses that are there, and then continued back that way. When we get these liquidity grabs and these pushes into here, we get a lot of orders in this area, which means institutional buyers and sellers can fill their big orders in these areas because there's so many people selling or buying because they're expecting, if we break this area, we're going to go short. So everyone sells their positions here while the institutional buyers can get in and the liquidity's there in order for them to just pretty much buy up the whole position. So that's what a liquidity grab is. And it's always crucial to be careful of liquidity grabs because you can get these little breaks, but they're not really breaks. They're just a liquidity grab, and then they fill a big position so it can go the other way. You usually see an increase in liquidity as well while it happens. If you get a breakout above an area and the lower time frame chart starts jumping a lot, there's a good chance that's a liquidity grab because there's big orders being filled at that point in time. Always keep an eye on that. That's usually why when it does happen, they leave wicks. Leave a wick like that, or even here a wick like this, because there's so many orders and like it's just a quick move that it taps in below and then runs. Taps in below right here under that low and then runs. And you can see the order that it fills. So liquidity grab is when we're tapping into an area where there's a lot of orders, a lot of stop losses, a lot of take profits, whatever it might be. So we can fill up all of those, and we've got enough liquidity to fill our $1 million position. We can fill our $1 million position and start moving the other way. That's a liquidity grab. The economic calendar next week. Next week. What do we have folding for us? This is last week. That's this week. Do we have anything today? Ooh, interesting. We're seeing growth on both counts for the flash services PMI and the manufacturing PMI. Very good. Good news for the Aussie dollar right there. Good news for the Aussie dollar, guys. Keep that in mind. The manufacturing and services PMI is just a good indication on how those sectors are running. If we're above 50, it's indicating market growth. If we're below 50, it's indicating market contraction. We've seen, I think, 5 months on the trot, 3 months on the trot. Very good growth. Keep an eye on that. That's it's very good. 3 months of growth on the services sector, which is good. Last time we've had 3 months swap, 3 months swap, 3 months. Interesting. But that's good news for the Aussie dollar. Actually, let's have a look if the Aussie dollar is moving after that. No, we're on the 4 hour. Not sure what happened overnight here, actually. I wanted to touch on that. No, we're not. It's not really having a market impact, is it? 9. No, it's actually come down, which is interesting. People are selling off the Aussie dollar with that. Very interesting dream. We've got flash manufacturing PMI for the Japanese yen coming out in an hour. And then tonight we've got the manufacturing services PMI for Germany, also France, but the German ones are much more powerful. Then the same thing for the pound. Then we've got the Canadian dollar retail sales, and then the same thing for the US dollar. I guess it's just one of them weeks where we're going to have all that data come out. That all comes out tonight. So be careful trading. There's a lot of stuff, the euro, the pound, the CAD, the US dollar. It's all going to be moving. We've even got Great British Pound retail sales here a little bit earlier in the day. Forecasting the same as last month. I'm not too sure if I agree with that forecast. Expect a surprise result. If you get a surprise result, it is a great opportunity to go trading. Okay, so expect a surprise result with the pound tonight. Keep an eye on that. We might see a surprise result. Anyway, let's have a look into next week. Let's see if we've got anything big happening. Aussie dollar CPI is good. I've got a little note here about the Aussie dollar CPI actually. Let me just find it. There it is. We can use the Aussie dollar PPI to actually predict the CPI. So if we find the Aussie dollar PPI, is that going to be this week too? Yep, here it is. Okay, so in January, just released quarterly the CPI, which has a big impact. This is on Wednesday next week. My Wednesday, probably most of yours Tuesday nights. But if you're in the Asia Pacific, Wednesday morning. We've had consistent growth in the PPI. If the PPI is showing consistent growth, there's a good chance the CPI will follow suit. As you can see, we've gone 0.6, 0.8, 0.8, 1.3. Their forecast isn't out yet. We don't have a forecast for the CPI, which is interesting. So keep an eye this weekend to see what the market is forecasting for it. But overall, I think we can anticipate good news for the CPI. So Monday and Tuesday, have a look how the Aussie dollar is performing, okay? If Monday and Tuesday, the Aussie dollar is moving in an uptrend and it's kind of out of the ordinary, there's no data really pushing it or no reason why it's having such a strong bullish run, it's probably anticipation for the good CPI news. If we get a powerful move before the data comes out, most people are going to be taking profits when the data comes out. Okay, so if the CPI comes out really positive, it might still head down because we've had the prior move. So a lot of people take into account, like, I'm predicting good news for the CPI. Okay, when the forecast comes out, everyone might go in the market and go, let's buy the Aussie dollar ahead of this CPI data because it's going to be good. Might happen. As everyone buys in, the Aussie dollar obviously makes its way up. Let's go on the hourly chart. Okay, we've had a big drop here recently, but let's go on the hourly chart. Let's say the Aussie dollar is moving up, then the CPI data comes out here, right? That's a horrible thing. Let's say the CPI data comes out right here, right? And the whole chart moves up in a move similar to this. Look to short regardless of data. Because if the data is good, most people are probably going to take their profits. Then, once the taking profits is done, we'll have a bit of a pullback. That'll be a perfect time to take long because big data like this can take a few days to actually set into the market. Realistically, it can take about 2 to 3 days, being quarterly announced CPI data as people really sit through it. So it can cause the Aussie dollar to have a bit of a bull run for the next 2 to 3 days if the data is good. If the data is negative, that's not good at all for the Aussie dollar. If we get some negative data, regardless of surprise or pre-market moves, I think that will be sold off quite heavily. Fear sells a lot more than good news, so keep that in mind with the Aussie dollar next week. Super Puke Bucket, good afternoon. It's a funny name. Welcome. Glad you're here. Other than CPI, we're going to have a look. We've got the goods trades balance for the US dollar, which is good indication on their import and export industry. Not really tradable in my opinion, however, good indication on how the whole economy is going over there. Then we've got the trade balance for the New Zealand dollar, retail sales for the Japanese yen. Bank of Japan outlook is going to be interesting to see what their interest rates are going to be looking like in the future. Advanced GDP for the US dollar is going to move the market like crazy. Keep an eye on that. Keep note on that. That's Thursday night. Thursday morning for most of you, but Thursday night for us. That's going to be a little bit mental. Keep an eye on that. Be careful. And then PCE price index. Yeah, it'll have an impact, but not much. The GDP for the Canadian dollar will. Overall, pretty quiet week next week. I know we've got a few big data release points. Aussie dollar. Other than that, let's dive further in. Why is that? There we go. Yeah, so even the Aussie dollar, we've not much. PPI at the end of the week, CPI in the middle of the week. That's it. Yeah. There's not a whole lot going economically, which means it's a good week to be a technical trader. I think moving into next week, we can have a look for some technical positions. This was a position I was looking for on Aussie dollar. I'm no longer looking for that position because you can see we ripped straight through where I wanted to get through. I was going to look for a buy position here. I could reevaluate and look for a buy position in here. But my main area was in this area. We already ripped through that. And I mean, this right here, that's a strong move. It's a very, very strong move. So I'm a little unsure if I'm going to stick by this analysis, but we'll have a look. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. We had a break lower, a pullback, a break lower, a pullback, a push lower. I actually missed the trade. Okay, you know how I trade by now. There, lower break, and then came in here, bang, a lower break. So once we've had two lower breaks, we're going to look for a pullback into the supply area that started that second break. And as you can see, we tapped on in right there and then pushed down lower. So I missed the trade, but the setup was there. The setup was pretty clean. Yeah. Not too much more to add on that. It's very interesting how it's a Japanese yen, isn't it? Yeah. Those two big moves here, and you see how they've kind of almost fully retraced. So the last red candle, bang, right there, right? And then here, the last red candle. They both fully retraced these big moves to the last red candle. Is this going to start heading up from here? Potentially. This is a very, very strong demand area. Okay. Will we head up to the top side? In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, we're going to probably head back up this way. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Did I have anything else? Pinned. Great British Pound, Aussie dollar didn't get low enough. The analysis was there. It just didn't get low as I wanted it to. This was on a 4-hour chart that I was looking at. I wanted to dip into this area, then push higher, but we only got to about here and then are going higher now. A little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. It happens. Great British Pound, New Zealand, very similar thing. Didn't get anywhere near as low as I wanted it to, but it tried. I'll give it an A+ for effort. It tried to get down to that level, but we didn't get there. I'm late for the stream. They already analysed euro dollar. Correct. I did have a look. Well, I haven't analysed the future of euro dollar, but I think I've shown plenty of analysis that does analyse the future of the euro dollar. Most people looking at the short side. I don't like the idea of buying the euro. So realistically, I'm probably looking at the short side as well. But as I discussed up here, both are expecting negative fundamental data. So realistically, I think we're sitting in this range for a little bit longer. Okay, a little bit longer, we're going to sit in this range. And that's what I predicted since earlier in the week. I think we'll come down. I think we'll sit here, maybe even push up a little bit from that area. But we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. Hi, KT. Welcome. And Jesus, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone have anything they want to run through or anything they want to add while I'm just kind of flicking through here? Am I making sense for everyone? Am I getting the data that you guys want to hear? Please, if there's anything you want to touch on or anything you want to ask, fire away. Fire away. I'm here for it. How are we looking for time? Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Yeah, it's tough. I wanted a good bias when it came down fundamentals this week, but it's not looking overly great. So we'll see. We'll see what unfolds. I'm just waiting on Euro US dollar to break that support it's at before I get in. Break the support up here. Oh, no, sorry, support. Yeah, I was thinking supply. To break what here? And then you're going to go short? Where's your stop loss going to be? There's a lot of area here, which is a bit messier. But or are you talking the support down here? Do you guys offer live trading room for futures trading? Not at the moment. We're looking at introducing more assets and stuff in the future, and there is a lot of stuff in the pipeline at the moment, which is going to be opening a lot of doors to a whole range of traders. But for the moment, no. For the moment, we don't. I was going to look for what's particularly weak next week, but you can see none of the forecasts are really out yet. I've already got the rate policy. I think the forecast will come out this weekend for the week ahead. So we'll keep an eye on when these forecasts come out and to start having a look at what the market is predicting fundamentally for the data next week, and we can start checking if we can make some plays based off of that. Depending on that, whether the forecasts are going to be completely wrong and we have a different view, or whether we agree with the forecast and it might be priced into the market a little bit earlier. Oh, you're looking on the daily chart. There's a support 200 pips down from 2017. You're looking on the daily chart all the way back from 2017 down here. Well, you want to get below this area? You got to get through this area first. A question: if I already have an account financed with the 5% instant funding, can I apply for a freestyle program too? Yes, you can. So you can have 3 bootcamp accounts, 3 live instant funded accounts, and 1 freestyle account, all at the same time. You can have all of those at the same time, okay? So you can't have more than 1 freestyle account. You can only have the 1, but you can have 3 instant funded accounts and you can have 3 bootcamp accounts all at the same time. So yeah, you're more than welcome to have 2 instant funded and a freestyle program. That's more than welcome. We might increase the amount of freestyle program accounts you can have in the future, but because it's still in beta and we're doing a lot of testing, we don't want to flood the servers just yet. We want to ensure that we get everything working and make sure the program does work the way we're anticipating it to. And we also want to get the stats on the pass rate because we think that's going to be extremely good when it comes down to the rate of success from traders. Because so far what we've seen is a lot of traders that were struggling to hit like profit targets and stuff on the instant funding account are just flying through the freestyle account, which is good to see because we can still with confidence fund them knowing they're going to make money, so we can make money. But at the same time, it also gives the ability for other traders to be able to pass without that pressure of the drawdown, without the pressure of the profit target. Just trade your way, and we can start moving that way. So, yeah, this area first. Okay, the 2020 area, March. We're gonna have to get through. Euro's weak, very, very reactive to the whole Russia-Ukraine scenario. So it's going to be interesting because as things unfold over there, the chart unfolds here. As a whole, I got confused then. I'm like, nah, it's just classic Japanese yen moves. As a whole, nothing too damning. Advanced GDP will make a difference for the US dollar. Nothing major in Europe, okay? So when it comes down to data that's going to move Euro US dollar, just keep an eye on the news, live news, literally. Like that's going to be it. That's what's going to move the data a fair bit. If you guys haven't, head over and check out this video I put on the TradingView channel. Okay, it's called Stop Strategy Jumping, and I sit there and I chat one-on-one and I talk through why you should literally stop strategy jumping. Okay, why you should stop looking for the next strategy, the next best thing. Don't do it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth everything that you go through. You don't get anywhere. It's done really well. We made it actually into the TradingView newsletter. I'm not sure if you guys subscribe to that or not. We were on the front page of the newsletter. It's going out, and you can see it's attracting a fair bit of attention as well. Go have a watch of that. It's really, really good, and we've got a whole range of comments coming through of everyone just relating. There's so many traders. The one thing I love about TradingView is when you're chatting to someone or when I'm live like this, everyone there are traders. So it's literally everyone I'm chatting to is a trader. So we're all on the same path. We're all on the same journey. We're all doing the same thing. We all understand what it means to be a trader. So it's actually fantastic when it comes around to chatting on the TradingView platform, because everyone's there for the same reason. So you can just relate and you can be more realistic. Right? You can get rid of the whole clickbaity stuff that happens on other platforms and the whole educators and all that. We just remove that, and I can just be real with it, and people take a lot of value from that. So it's really good to see. Great video. I really appreciate it. It's how I ended up here. Oh, fantastic. That worked well, didn't it? I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a video that I think a lot of people needed to hear. A lot of people do just constantly strategy jump. I had an issue with it, and I discussed that. So it was a video that I wanted to put out there, and I am going to make a follow-on as well in the future. I'm very busy right now, so we'll see if I can put something up in the near future for that. I have a strategy that works, but it doesn't work on a time frame that would allow me to use any prop firms besides this one. So you'll save me from strat hopping. Yeah, a lot of the other prop firms are like 30 days make 10%. I don't know. See, I know a lot of like serious hedge fund managers, like Wall Street level, people that work up in Sydney, like some of the best traders I've ever seen, and none of them can make 10% a month consistently. When you get these big prop firm challenges like that, like it is just incentivizing gambling. No one can achieve that consistently for that long, and that's the point, because they don't exactly want you to achieve that. They make more money from the sign-up fees. So when we produced our programs, we were like, no, our business model's different from our competitors. We don't want the our revenue isn't from the sign-up fees. Most of our revenue is from the profit splits that we do, especially with the instant funded accounts. It's a 50-50 profit split. Literally, when you pay the sign up fee to do an instant funded account, you'll notice that sign up fee is almost the same value as your drawdown, your allowed drawdown. You're essentially covering that drawdown, and you go straight onto a live account. So we don't make any money from that. We actually make our money from you guys making profits. So that's one thing that sets us apart in that sense, is because our goals are aligned, right? We want to work together. We need to work together so we can make as much money together as possible, because the more money you guys make, the more money we make. And that's all it is. And that's why I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of the competition, is we have aligned goals and we have an aligned vision, and that's the main thing. So I'm glad you find, and we've got a whole range of different evaluation programs too, right? So we're trying to get every type of trader. We've got our boot camp, which is really low sign up fee. We've got all our instant funded, whether it be low risk or whether it be aggressive, depending if you want more leverage. And then you've got your freestyle program, no goals, no drawdowns, stuff like that. You can do what you want to do. We're trying to access the whole market and give everyone that fair shout to come and to attract more traders, because the more traders we have and the more people making profits, the more profits we make, right? It's a very simple concept, very simple business model, which is why that. And 5% is support and resources. We provide all the resources because we want you guys to do well. That's why our resources and support step out from the competition, because other firms and stuff, they don't care if you do well or not, because they make their money from when you pay right at the start, right? Whereas we don't make the money from that. So we want to give you resources, we want to give you support, we want to work with you and help you improve, so you don't cost us money, you actually make us money. Which just goes back to that aligned goals, and then the reason why we emphasize such great support and resources there, Holman, is because we want you to succeed. We generally do. We really want you to succeed, which is why we're always doing live streams. It's why we're always getting people like Gary, Dr. Gary, who came in to talk about risk management, who's worked on Wall Street for like 20 years. We've got our education courses. We do our one-on-one portfolio analyst meetings. Like, all these resources are to help you succeed, because we want you to succeed. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want you to succeed. I appreciate the nice comment, though. I really do. I hope you're having a good week. Okay. Well, we're running out of time. Is there anything anyone wants to touch on? I know today's been a little bit slower, and I apologize for that. Next week I'll plan something a little bit more. But it was nice to run through the traders charts and to have a look at how all that planned out. I might make a little video on that later in the Discord if you guys are around in the Discord to just review those. But overall, really good job. Thank you for everyone that put forward their analysis and shared in detail too, because when you share in detail, it just makes it so much better for everyone who's trying to absorb the new information and trying to learn from the professional traders. So well done, and thank you to everyone that did that. I really appreciate it. All right, was there anything else I wanted to touch on? I don't think so. Japanese, I'll quickly touch on the Japanese yen because it's been a little bit crazy, okay? Here's the thing. We have seen a move like this on the Japanese yen, and it's been a little crazy, okay? The weakness, let's go US dollar, Japanese yen, where are we? We had something like 12 straight days or 13 straight days of weakness. Look at this. Look at that. In the Japanese yen. Most people now are going to be looking for shorts because the simple concept of, it's gone far enough, it's overbought, blah, 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 even value, it needs to come back down. My issue with that is they're still producing bad economic results. So, like, fundamentally, there's nothing indicating that we should buy the Japanese yen. And if the only reason people are buying the Japanese yen is because it moved a lot in this direction, it means that majority of the beginner traders are the ones buying the Japanese yen, buying the Japanese yen, trying to get it to come down. And if most of the beginner traders are buying it just because it's overbought and there's no fundamental data to say, hey, head lower, it's just going to keep going up, which leads me to believe maybe institutions are even going to push this a little bit higher. But yeah, Japanese yen's an interesting one. Just be careful. Because if it does drop, I think it's going to drop hard. But fundamentally, why is it going to drop? Like nothing it's gone. It's done this move for a reason. It's done this move because the currency and the economy is weak compared to the US dollar, like really weak. No, in 33 days, 45 days, we've moved 12%. For an FX pair, that's crazy. Okay. So just I'm not sure. Just be careful. Yeah, so this would be the 20-year high up at 134.76. So we're a little bit away. We might get up to that level before we flip. So yeah, don't short this pair just because it's moved up a lot. Okay, never short a pair because it's moved up a lot. Always look for a reason to short it, not because the RSI is overbought. No, doesn't work. Okay, look for a fundamental reason or something that's going to give that actually people want to invest in the Japanese yen. Because right now, no one wants to invest in the Japanese yen, and if no one's investing in the Japanese yen, guess where they are going? They're going into the US dollar. Okay, that's going to push this chart higher. So keep an eye on that. It might fade. Maybe with not much strength, but it might fade. But don't short it just because it's moved so much. That's a terrible idea. Find an actual reason to invest in the Japanese yen. If you don't have a reason to invest in the Japanese yen, why are you investing in the Japanese yen? Day trading, sure, it's got plenty of volatility at the moment. Go wild, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. If you're a little day trader, don't let this affect you. It's just more for those swing traders who are looking for big shorts. I'm not sure on it. Okay, just keep an eye on it. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for the comment there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that unfolds. All right, that's pretty much gonna wrap us up today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Time actually flew by a little bit quicker than I thought it would, considering I didn't have too much planned. I appreciate everyone's attendance today. I hope you learned a little bit about the Euro US dollar analysis as well. Okay, sorry. I'm still waiting for an actual exit signal for dollar yen because I'm in a long position from a few days ago. When you say a few days ago, how few days ago? Have we bought right here, or have we bought down here? Because if you bought in here, it'll be interesting because we got to kind of be careful. You might, yeah, it's a tough one to be a part of. As I said, I'm seeing Japanese yen weakness. Okay, as a whole, I am, and I still think this has a bit more to move. But it's also reached the news, and everything in the news is talking about how weak the Japanese yen is. Which usually, if the news is there, it means the move's pretty much coming to an end. So there's so many different aspects to 6 days. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's down here. Okay, good. That's a good move. Yeah, it's such an issue. If especially when it comes to currencies, if it starts making headlines, there's an issue. Okay, that means like the move's already happened because the moment it hits headlines, it attracts all beginners traders to react off of that headline. Most institutions are done by the time a headline comes out. So just be careful with that. Careful with that. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I appreciate you all being here today. I had an absolute pleasure chatting you all and running through your analysis. Keep an eye if you're in the Discord or you're a 5%ers trader, get into the Discord. Keep an eye on the chart of the week coming out on Sunday. Ruben will produce another one, and we'll do the same next week. We're going to run through people's analysis. I'll give them a couple comments on their analysis and potential areas to improve on, as well as give me as much detail as possible. And it is a bit of fun. There's a few little rewards. It's like a little competition as well. So keep an eye on that. Get involved. It is some good fun. As always, for the weekend, get away from the chats. Go spend some time with your family, spend some time with your friends, relax a little bit, reset, come in next week for a fresh new week. It's a bit of a quiet fundamental week, so it's going to be great for technical analysis. Keep an eye on that. I hope you all have a fantastic time, and I will see you next Friday. Thanks, guys. Cheers.